And the recording's on.
All right, we are all set.
All right. So I will call the Southborough School Committee meeting to order at 12:31 on Thursday, April 2nd, and we have three members present. Perfect. All right. I guess I'd like to open the meeting just by saying thank you to all the candidates for stepping forward to volunteer for this really important work. I feel like everyone put in a lot of time and really, thoughtful preparation into, preparing for these interviews and submitting for this committee. So again, just really wanted to ensure that appreciation was put out there for everyone's efforts. And, this is important work. So really appreciative to everyone that applied. Great. All
Well,
right.
I guess
Yeah.
raise a hand.
Yeah.
Um,
Great.
so I think the purpose of this meeting is to appoint, if we agree,
Hmm.
the two members from the school committee, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes. So three members were appointed on Tuesday during the select board and school committee joint meeting on Tuesday. So yes, our role is to appoint two more, which is the responsibility of the school committee. So yes, that's what we're here for today.
well, I'm disappointed that Alan hasn't been able to join, because one of the things I um, really identified on Tuesday's meeting is the reason we were going to postpone our vote is so that we'd have as many members as possible. But
Hmm.
guess we are where we are. Um, so I'd like to make a motion, if I might, Laura.
Of course.
And if there's a second to the motion, then I'll explain my reason for it. If it
Sure.
dies, it dies. But I would like to move that we appoint Craig Williams and Heather McLeod. Is it, am I, McLeod?
I believe so. That sounds correct, but
I
we'll have to
probably
ask.
will mess that up every time,
Mhm.
as the two Southborough School Committee appointees to the Building Committee.
Second.
Um, Let me explain my reasoning.
Mhm. Great.
Um, when I read the charge um, of the select board, who is responsible for this committee, um, there were a couple of things that I thought both Craig and Heather spoke to that resonated with me. Um, the select board has identified education, school operation, and instructional programming. I think the one thing that, and I think that they bring different skills. So they're really not overlapping to speak of. They bring different skills, I think, to the committee. Craig being really more, um, I guess, on the operations, if you will, as a principal, but he's also been through transition, if you will, with school buildings. He's had some experience there. On the other hand, I liked what Heather said, especially about the importance of classrooms and dealing with special ed, making sure that things were integrated. So I think both would contribute greatly to the committee. The other thing that struck me, as I think everyone knows, I was on the previous building committee. We actually didn't have on that committee any current educators. Denise has a background in education, and we're both on the school board. But as far as actual current educators, there really wasn't anyone on the committee, and I think maybe that didn't serve us well in the end. I know that I guess I'll say educational programming and focus on education. I thought the district did a terrific job of making sure that all those things were put forth to the committee, but there was no one that had a voting position on the committee, that was in that position. So That's all I got, but that's why I would move that we appoint those two folks to the committee.
Great. I definitely have some input, but Denise, I wanted to just give you an opportunity. If there was anything you wanted to add there, any questions or
Sure.
anything else.
It's in support of Craig. I worked with him on the Finn search committee for a principal, and I was very
Mhm.
impressed. I think he'll do a great job. Unfortunately, I don't know Heather just from the interview, so I would support both of them, but definitely Craig. He
Mhm.
certainly put in the time and worked diligently on the Finn search committee for a principal.
Great. Yeah, I'll just add a couple thoughts just based on the interviews from Tuesday. I would say I am again in support of these two candidates. I would say for Craig, just the fact that he was involved in the consolidation of this large project, I feel lends itself really well to just understanding the complexities of just, large scale school related projects and just managing multiple expectations. He also really spoke to, he was managing, staff input, family engagement along with the community, which again, I think is very relevant to what this is going to entail in this particular committee's charge. So I thought that was, again, just a great, something that he'd really bring forward to the table. And then another thing that he also mentioned was that it seems like he has a great understanding of how space impacts learning. He was talking a bit about in the particular project that he was involved in Franklin, how they had to basically consolidate middle school students into a building which was originally intended for middle school and then separately elementary school students and some of the challenges that went along with that. So in my opinion, I thought that was just an interesting perspective that he brings in really understanding that space is so critical and that, for those learning environments and for the best experiences for children. So that was kind of my thoughts on Craig and why I feel like he'd be a great fit for this committee. In terms of Heather, a lot of things she said really, again, felt very relevant to this particular charge. I feel like she has a great understanding and mentioned this explicitly of kind of the day-to-day operations and just understanding of being in a school building. Obviously for some of us, myself, I could certainly speak to, I'm not in a school building day after day, so I don't necessarily have just those intimate experiences of what it's really like to be in a school building. So just really bringing that to the forefront and that perspective, I think, would be really helpful in this particular committee. Another thing she mentioned is that she said that she's seen just a wide variety of different school buildings, old, new, and again, I feel like she also really has a good perspective on a really good understanding of modern academic spaces and all the merits that bring for the students in a school. So I think that take two is something that is obviously relevant to this project and will be really important of a perspective to bring forward. So that as well, I thought was excellent in terms of what she brought up. And then again, she also said that she's seen in other school buildings and where she's worked or where she's been in that she has a good understanding of like schools. The best schools that she's seen has focused on certain priorities. I think she explicitly spoke to the best schools focus on classroom, special education, and usefulness. So again, I just feel like everything that she mentioned in terms of some of those priorities are certainly going to be relevant and are things that we have been mentioned and what we're going to be looking for in bringing forth a project for Neary School. So again, just in culmination, I just wanted to mention some of the comments that that each of these candidates had discussed on Tuesday and why I feel like those particularly lend themselves well to being on this committee. So that's my 2 cents. Was there anyone else that wanted to weigh in?
Laura, I can just give some general comments.
Sure.
So I did have an opportunity to watch the select board meeting and listen to the interviews. And I echo your remarks. I really appreciate anyone who's stepping up to contribute to the community and to bring solutions forward. So I think, again, thank you to the people who did volunteer and submit applications. That is appreciated by the district as well. I think that there was a comment made by a select board member around the prior Neary Building Committee. And just from my experience working with the members of the prior Neary Building Committee. Um, you know, my experience was that each member of the building committee served with integrity and a great amount of transparency, and each person brought a unique skill set to the table. So I think that's important to note. I think for the committee, as it weighs its 2 seats to fill for this new committee, it's the balance of some new focus, new ideas, but also making sure that there's this continuity of the learning that the committee did, the Neary Building Committee, the committee over the summer, and that work is not lost. But I also think that we have this formal committee of 5 people that is forming. Um, there's still a tremendous amount of expertise and participation that we need for people to step up and continue to contribute. So whether Craig or Tim Fling or Mark Davis or any member who submitted an application, there's still a really important role to play for people to serve and help move this forward. It's not just the 5-member committee that's appointed that needs to do the legwork. So those are
Absolutely.
my comments.
Great, thank you. All right, is there any more discussion on this, or should we proceed with those
I'm ready
two?
to vote. I think we can vote, Laura.
Great. Okay. Let's see. Do I need to, just wording wise, add anything else just to move that forward, Roger?
No, I think I'm ready to vote if you want to just do the roll call vote. I mean,
All right. All right. So roll call to appoint Craig Williams and Heather McLeod to the elementary school building committee. Roger,
I vote yes.
Denise,
Aye.
and Laura, I as well. Great. So that motion carries. All right. And I know, Roger, you mentioned something in addition that you wanted was there anything else you wanted to speak to just before we
Yeah.
move forward?
Before we adjourn, if I might, and I know we thanked everyone for the volunteering. I'd like to make a special shout out to Mark Davis. I think a few folks were um, witnessed the meeting the other night. Mark has not only a lot of credentials, but I also worked with him on the previous building committee, and I think I can say that very few people worked harder or longer than Mark. I think he's cares a lot about having a safe and healthy school, and hopefully will be one of the folks that continues to help, because I think his contributions not only were valuable, but I think would be very valuable in the future. And I'm singling him out, really because I think he deserves it, based on what he did in the past and hopefully what he'll do in the future. Thanks for letting me get into that, Laura.
As serving with Mark, I have to agree. He did an outstanding job. I think we were faced in this situation by choosing educators as our role, because we already have 3 that are not educators that were voted by the Board of Selectmen. But I couldn't agree with Roger anymore, because he did an outstanding job. And I think a lot of the concerns about the field were waylaid because of all the stuff that Mark did. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. I also echo those sentiments. Yeah, thanks so much to Mark for all of his contributions. And again, I also hope to have him integrated in some way in this work, because I'm sure he would be a wonderful asset as well. Great. All right. Is there anything else, or are we ready to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Okay. All right. So I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. And then roll call, Denise,
Aye.
Roger,
Aye.
and Laura is an aye. So I will adjourn the school committee meeting at 12:46 p.m.
Bye, guys.
Have a
Thank you
good
so much,
day.
everyone.
Have a good
Thank
afternoon.
you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.